Hello there, and welcome to part 2 of the Spriggan Artificer. I wanted to say Spriggan Enchanter somehow, but we're an Artificer here, not an Enchanter. This is actually gonna be more or less part 1, because the last episode got baby busted. Well, that might happen in the future soon again, because having a 4-week-old infant here in the house sometimes has some emergency issues here. Gotta be taken care of. Alright, so let's get into this. We left at D2, and let's just keep going. I mean, I'm wielding this fancy short sword of venom, and I feel like we should be able to just melee this worm without using our stones. Okay, so I gotta have a look-see here. Is there anything in particular I have to take care of? Kind of forgot at which point I left. I only remembered this very cool venomous short sword hanging around, so let's just keep going. I feel pretty safe here on the Spriggan so far, because being kind of like almost double as quick as most normal speed moving stuff is simply great. So in general, I feel like Spriggans are very, very good exercise at playing the game more conscious and slowly paced, because dying as a Spriggan is in many occasions your own fault, because you didn't bail out quickly enough or anything like that. So I gotta stop butchering corpses. I don't need that. That was a rough D2, especially since I'm only XL3. There wasn't much stuff hanging around there on which I could level up, so D3 is potentially very dangerous. I gotta be careful about that. So just having a look on my training here. So I'm gonna get this adder upstairs. I'm still quicker than it, so I can start kiting it if things get bad, because well, those HP are lousy, but gotta get used to it. I'm a Spriggan after all. It's the biggest drawback to face. Oh, boys. That was not cool. So blowgun kobolds are really scary, especially if you're having no curing potions on yourself. And right now I actually want to bail, because the poisoning was already pretty rough here. And if I got in a few more shots from him, I would have been done for. So there we go. Gonna pick up that blowgun, because it might come in handy. It's 100% uncursed, so let's put this up for a swapping here. And maybe I get lucky and pick up some Kurari. I mean, let's see. No, there's only poison needles hanging around here. Alright, but I can now actually do some ranged poison action. I mean, I'm heavily poison biased so far, but that's okay. In the early game, poison damage is really awesome, and that's Grinder. In this kind of scenario, I'll just exclude this staircase for now, and let's go somewhere else. Chances are that I'm able to stab Grinder in one blow without any problems, because I might get to sneak up on him. But chances are I'm gonna get paralyzed, double pained, and I'm dead. I'm not gonna take this risk. Grinder, if you meet Grinder on D2, D3, or D4, be cautious. Be very cautious. So actually I'm gonna go over here and exclude this area so I don't accidentally run while auto-exploring into this corner and wake this thingy up, and yeah, I don't want to see that happen. Maybe I'm gonna do that once I have some heal wounds potion and a few more HP, but for now, no. Simply no. Alright, let's do this. There's a hunting sling. I'm wondering if this would be actually better than my blowgun here, but I'm not entirely sure. So let's keep exploring for now. There's an unknown staircase. Interesting. So that's an Eli altar. Oh, no, not interested. I have something particular in mind for this run. So that's an orc at D3. Orcs usually don't up alone, but this one did. Alright, so that's a scattershot wand. Unknown altar. These thingies always make me a little bit tempted to just use them, but no, not for this run. So I'm not gonna bother getting closer to grinder, because, well, I explained that already. So let's just pretend there was no grinder around and go downstairs. This scattershot wand is really good, and 31 charges on the flame wand. Well, awesome in one word. Because right now, flame wands are, well, it's the best time to have flame wands. So that's a Naga monk. Can do 12 damage. It's very slow, so it's basically impossible for this ghost to catch up to me. And chances are I can kite this thing forever, but how I'm gonna kill it? Since it's a Naga ghost, it has a lot of HP. And well, for now I'm just gonna pretend that this thing is not around. So there's my first ogre. There's absolutely nothing to worry about if you're a Spriggan. So here we go. That's why I picked up the blowgun. It's super useful in combination with high movement speed, because, well, you just saw how I wrecked this thing up. This ogre literally had no chance of survival here. But I feel like I don't have enough needles for a two-headed ogre, sadly. So, skeletons, and that's a bunch of orcs. Chances are, since I'm on D4, they're having at least a wizard or a priest or multiple of those. And since I don't have any potions yet, and still no IT scrolls, well, oh, that's a workaround. So that's a good occasion to hammer in a few flame wands, because nah, why take the risk? Okay, that's Blork. Let's check it out. So Blork can go invis, which is not a problem at all for me because I have natural see invisible. The haste could be an issue. What about the damaging spells? It's magic dart for flamethrower first. It's quite something. But with my high evasion rating, chances are I'm just gonna dodge that stuff. Okay, so Blork woke up. And this means I'm gonna kite back a little. And let's have a flame wand. Maybe I can just kill this dude off with the wands here. Looking good. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So I'm still gonna level up some strength in terms of armor usage later on. This will be pretty great. But I'm gonna stop pretty soon. Yeah, there we are. So there's an orc priest among them. That's why I'm immediately starting kiting back this situation. Orc priests are really dangerous people, especially if you're running a low HP race. So that shaft is away. I felt like this orc priest got shafted somehow. So there's the Naga ghost again, but I'm not particularly interested in fighting it. But where's that orc pack? So work around again. I'm not gonna dare to melee that. Since I'm having no cure poison on me, I don't wanna risk getting killed here. There are not too many races that can run away from a workaround, but being a Spriggan can do. So there's still this ghost on my heels, but oh yeah, with my stealth, it's pretty easy to kite him forever. Because the ghost will always lose track of me at some point when I get too far away. It's pretty good. That's why I kept learning stealth up to 5, and we're done with that now. I'm gonna put up some points in short blades actually. So what about killing you? 1, 2. So here right now I'm just very, very carefully tabbing this. So that's 61 HP. Are you fire resistant? Yes. Damn. If he wasn't fire resistant, I would just flame wand him to death. So let's take another try. Oh yeah, that smacked. Scatter shot was a good thing to go. So 12 damage per blow. I really want to try to get the last hit here with my weapon, and that worked out. Cool. So I'm gonna forget this floor. That's Shift X and Control F to forget the floor, and Control U to unforget the floor afterwards. But I really want to pick up this art pack here, because right now they're pretty easy to kill for me, and I don't feel like there's any reason not to do so. Alright, there we go. That should have been all, so Shift X and Control U to unforget, and there we go. So that's Dungeon 4 done for us. Awesome. So, what happens next down here at D5? That's a lot of emerald potions in my inventory, and I had a triple scroll, turned out to be random uselessness. It's really, really tragic. So there's a ruined hat and a shadow imp. How high are his chances to pain me? Pretty high. But not resistant to fire. So what I'm gonna do is I'm getting closer, try to kill him. But if he had used too much pain on me, I would have started whacking him with my flame wand there, because he wasn't resistant to fire. Smack. Alright. Do I have a skill target for Evo yet? No. So, in my opinion, right now it's not worth skilling up Evo like crazy. Ooh, there's a shield. I can't even use that. It's so sad. So, a null with a Spear of Chaos. I'll rather blowgun that. So, I don't have stones anymore. Needles. So, I gotta use some Flame Wand here, because getting hit by a Spear of Chaos is too unpredictable for my taste. In general, nulls with pole arms are pretty considerable dangers for a Spriggan, because you get in a free hit while retreating if you're unlucky, and that's something. Ooh, man, all this effort I'm putting on to avoiding this one chaos wielding dude, and I'm not realizing that this crazy Zom area has spawned all these null with a lot of chaos weapons. That's funny. So that blowgun didn't do too much, but it softened him up, so I feel like, yeah, one shot of my wand here will do. Perfect. So let's repeat that. Maybe I get lucky here. But the second one missed, so I gotta finish the job with this. If I'm not wrong, chaos weapons can actually also banish you into the abyss, and this would be most likely my end right now. I don't think that I could actually survive the abyss right now. I mean, I'm fast and everything, but nah, don't want to risk it. Would be spicy, I would definitely try, but I don't want to try something like that. Good. So we got this Chaos Vault done. That's cool. And so far, I'm really waiting for anything good to show up to utilize into. Because right now, my gear and my stuff I'm carrying around will not be useful into the mid game anymore. So that's some centaur. 2 centaur actually. Wow, I'm in trouble. So I'm gonna immediately teleport right now, because I could actually die here. Alright, good. Let's hide into a corner. 1 centaur, okay. I can deal with that, but 2 centaurs and Sigmund hanging around that corner? Way. That's trouble. So let's exclude these for a moment, because I don't feel like getting closer to this area voluntarily. So I want it to be something like that. This is still scary enough if it's 1 centaur. but 2 of those I didn't want to take. Alright, good, good, good. So there's a lot of potions showing up, and I have this double scrolls not being ID. Did I pick up any ID? No. D5 and no identification scrolls. That's pretty interesting. This doesn't happen too often. So that's Sigmund. I feel like I can do him. D5 is not too much of a deal to get rid of Sigmund. The confusion was troubling me a bit though, so I can get rid of these exclusions. That's Shift X and Control E to remove all exclusions from the floor. And let's whack that centaur. Good. Alright. So at this point, with 7 evocations, these flame wands actually do a lot of damage. Don't underestimate the power of those. So I really wanted to ID something. I already thought that these were curing. But sometimes you get a crazy run and pick up like 6 potions of degeneration. That stuff happens too, or mutation. It's nothing you want to quaff randomly. Alright. So this orc wields a short sword of draining. So I've got some more needles. And I'm starting to retreat towards an upstairs. Alright. Just in case something spooky shows up. So there should be an orc priest somewhere, I wanted to say. So let's try if I can just stab him away. Alright, good. So with these, when playing Spriggan, be damn careful. Because the smite can do up to 17 damage, and 3 max damage smites are actually my end, and if you tap too quickly, you can get in a lot of damage and abuse. So there's an amulet. I'm gonna put it on. In a curse. Great. Not. So orc priests are something you really gotta take seriously. Way, that's some beefy guys coming towards me here. So let's needle him to death. It's one good thing about blowguns that you can kill off lots of resilient and heavy hitting guys with it, even without any skill. Ooh, that net was really nasty. Gotta be careful about that. I don't have any throwing skill, yet still it provides me some kills. Oh, I feel like I can melee him. At least to apply some poison. There we go. If I didn't find that short sort of venom, my whole early game would have been a lot more complicated, to be quite honest. But still doable. I wouldn't have as much flame wand charges left though. It's a bunch of gnolls, but yet again, gnolls are not too dangerous for you as a Spriggan, because you can always run away from them. Gotta be careful about the nets though. The nets can really mess up your day. But something that's worth mentioning here is that curing potions are actually really good for Spriggans, because you have already such low HP, so the curing does a lot for you. Alright, that's youth. It's basically only another gnoll with a more dangerous weapon. That's kind of like all to mention here. But he had a cloak for us. And I totally forgot to put up this hat. So I'm having impressive 4 AC right now. That's Eustacia. I feel like I can do this. Poison is really good against Eustacia, because he'll blink around and I only need to reapply the poison, and sooner or later he and his summons will just die away. He's not too much of a very dangerous unique on D6 anymore. And there's Menkore. Good thing about Menkore, he's vulnerable to fire. So Flame Wand is one thing to take this guy down pretty easily with. So there's a buckler. Awesome. That's something I really want to use. One bad thing about bucklers for a Spriggan is that you really need 7.2 skill points of shields to get rid of the penalty. I'm gonna stop training evocations for now. 8.5 is all I need. I fell through a shaft. And there's the temple. And there's a lot of trouble around me. So the Orc Priests woke up. Orc Wizard too. I'm just gonna keep running for now. Got slowed, but that's okay. Well, if I didn't had the curing potions identified here, I would have been a lot more concerned about this. Because confusion could have really messed up my day here. So, where was it? No, that was not the staircase. So, it was there, right? Alright, so... Oops, wrong button. I want to exclude this staircase because I don't feel too comfy taking this area. So we got that one guy down. I'm gonna put up some int right now. And... ooh, that was a smite. I tried to bait him upstairs, but that didn't work out. And there's an Orc Warrior with a glaive. So we're gonna make use of our insane speed and do the same thing we're basically doing with anything that's particularly dangerous. We kite it to death. It might be a bit tedious, but it's also super effective. So I'm just gonna keep waiting here on this staircase for these guys to come close to me. I think like I'm gonna get up close with this priest though. There's another priest. I want to break line of sight with him because they only can smite you when they see you. So let's get upstairs with this orc wizard, but he didn't want to. That's okay. Killer Bee Zombie is a bit obnoxious, so I'm gonna start zapping this guy because I'm really getting sick of his face. There we go. Killer Bee Zombie on its own is already pretty dangerous. They are, if they meet you in the early game, one of the more dangerous zombie types. So there we are, finally at the temple. For this run, I felt like I want to play some Gozak Spriggan. Gozak is pretty cool in general for a Spriggan because he will turn every corpse into gold. That's something which doesn't bother a Spriggan at all. You don't need the meat from them to stay fed, and yeah, that's one thing. Another thing is the potion petition, which is really useful in any part of the game, and the branch bribe is also very useful for vulnerable people like me. And yeah, there's only one big drawback though. Spriggan cannot wear most types of armor, but they can actually wear monster crafted armor, so such like troll leather armors and stuff like that. If you're worshipping Gozak though, you won't find those ever, basically because every corpse turns into gold, right? So there's nothing to salvage. But this is really the only downside for me as a Spriggan worshipping Gozak. Carefully killing off these hippogriff. Ooh, I don't like the looks of it because I'm really kind of like low already. But let's head towards here, get upstairs, and there we are. Okay, I still had blink and curing and a lot of options open, so I wasn't too afraid here of getting towards that upstairs, but was a little bit frightening. So back to topic about Gozak. I feel like I can still summon these armor shops if I want to, and more often than not you will find some good set piece of armor, because that's like the only real drawback I'm facing here. Very good. So I'm having a wand of acid here. Look at that. Triple degeneration. Acid is a very, very powerful wand. I'm really happy to see that in my inventory here. So I want to put up a short blades target for 14 so I can use a rapier. Polymorph. And a book of air. Awesome. Great, great. That was something I was really waiting for because this will bring me some more options. I'm gonna memorize shock and airstrike. I'm not too sure if I'm gonna use that anytime too soon, but it's very good to have some kind of option. There are 2 orc priests here. So 3 actually. What the hell? Yeah, I thought so. Let's TP. I might actually die if they all come to the idea to smite me all together. It's really, really concerning me here. Wow, that's some serious orc priest party here. It's been a while since I saw that many on top of each other that early on, so I fumbled a little in this fight here. Got a little bit too low with the hippogriff, so I flame wanded him to death. Alright. So I really gotta take these guys split up from each other, or I'm gonna die horribly to the orcish priests here. So there's another priest showing up, but I'm gonna keep fighting for now until he shows his face again. There we go. I'm gonna take this again. Gonna have a look-see on that. Okay, that's only an enchanted dagger. Might have been Elec or some crazy stuff again. So let's have a look for the brand search. Okay, so no better short or long blade showed up. Alright. So right now I feel like we can take this guy upstairs and slaughter him. I just realized that somebody was shooting Kurari needles after me, and that was actually a bit too spooky. Let's immediately go upstairs. One of them hit me, but he will exhaust his ammunition eventually. So, but I definitely want to have those Kurari needles, my friend. They are really powerful. It's the biggest stack of poison the blowgun can apply it with one shot. So, well, let's do it. Let's use one on this guy. Bam. This might be actually really useful right now. I feel like these Kurari needles might help me a lot with the getting rid of the orcish priests here. So let's stand around that corner, or I'm just gonna let them walk into my face. I don't know. So let's flame wand him, because poison takes a few turns to get working, and I don't want to give them too many turns to work on me, to be quite honest. Alright, so I got a blinking scroll for that. Well deserved, I'd say. Good, we're still alive. I was a bit spooked there for a moment. Okay, so let's get deeper here. I'm gonna try to reach the lair before ending this episode. But we're getting more and more into a comfortable space with this character. It's mainly because we had the immense luck of finding good short blade early on, which is for every Spriggan a very, very valuable asset, because that's the only good weapon type you have available in terms of aptitudes. Because +1 aptitude is pretty decent. It's not amazing or such, but it's decent. And there's a weapon shop here. Sadly, nothing too useful hanging around here. So I'm picking up new scrolls, but I don't know. I don't want to waste them, to be quite honest. And there's a croc. This might be an indicator for the lair, but might actually be not. So, another orc party. Well, that's okay. But I'm not gonna waste my Kurari needles here again. I felt like it was pretty okay to use them upstairs because the situation was pretty tense, and with all these orc priests around, was quite happy to get rid of the orc warrior quickly and safely, just with 2 hits. But here there was no real reason to do it like that. So there's Ribbit. He has some considerable EV rating, but Kurari can do. And using poison against Ribbit is awesome because he has the behavior to teleport away when he is too low. And I just felt a little bit more experienced. So he teleported away, but eventually died to the poison, so no biggie. And as for Spriggans in general, I can highly recommend picking up the first blowgun you run across, because blowguns get really, really useful once you're way quicker than your enemy. I feel like other species can't make as much use of the blowgun like a Spriggan can do. So another thing I forgot to mention about Gozak, gold piles start distracting enemies, which is some very cool thing because that's a free confusion effect, and as far as I know it's ignoring MR, but I need to look up that, to be quite honest. I'm not too sure about that. Yet still, it's a free confusion effect you don't need to do anything for. It just happens. No piety needed. And because of that, sometimes when you're around a dangerous area, it's also pretty useful to use these gold piles and not pick them up to kite enemies around and get free distractions. Ooh. An Arbalest is pretty interesting. I mean, well, no. This could be an option though, but nothing I really want to opt into. So there are wolves. Kind of like expected something like that. Wolves are pretty scary because they are even in speed with me. And everything which is at least even in speed with you is spooky as a Spriggan. Very spooky are only things that are really quicker than you. So let's try if we can actually smack him down like that. Because I start to get lazy with these ogres. They're not as dangerous anymore as they were before though. It's worth mentioning. So finally some ID scrolls show up. That's ancient armor for me. That's good. Gonna enchant that buckler though. Why I'm not wearing that yet? It's cursed. But I can still swap. And another scroll double. That's enchant weapon. Gonna put that on the rapier. I don't see any use in enchanting this short sword anymore. So let's do something funny here. Let's try to enslave this wolf. Let's enslave this wolf. I gave it the wrong mindset. It's pretty clear that this won't work. So enslaving the wolf and telling it to kill Grum is pretty funny. But even more funny is it to enslave Grum and tell him to kill his own wolf, and then eventually kill the last wolf and get rid of all of them. I love it. Enslavement ones are really funny things. So that's a ring of strength. Not bad. Not bad. Still no Lair entrance showed up. That's a bit sad. Alright, we're getting swarmed here. And this looks like the entrance to the Orcish mines, and I immediately want to fall back because of the Orcish priests potentially pouring out of this door. they are right now the only orcs I'm really worried about, and that's a Falchion of Holy Wrath. Not exactly what I was hoping for, but since right now I'm only using a short sword of venom against undead enemies, I feel like having a Holy Wrath weapon is actually a very cool upgrade for me. So I'm gonna go upstairs right now, heal up, and get back there. So that's a Vampiric Trident, nothing to worry about. And an enchanted falchion, not too concerning either. This is a very good spot to fight them. That's an Elec short sword. Perfect. Alright, that's really fortunate. In terms of damage dealing, an Elec weapon is way stronger than a Venom weapon. Although the Venom is a very good damage over time effect, so, well, right now I'm going to use both of them, but actually I want to Holy Wrath this dude. There's no need to not do that. So, we did that. And let's pick up this short sword of electrocution. Perfect. I'm gonna make that my main weapon right now, because if I need poison, I can still swap over to the poisonous weapon. But in terms of damage dealing, the Elec brand is so much more powerful, so... There we are. Just like I expected, it's the entrance to the Orcish mines. So that's killing orc priests a lot quicker than the venomous weapon. What does this black bear do here? They can go berserk if they get low on HP, but I'm not too sure if this thing would actually be able to catch me even while in berserk. So electric eels are pretty easy to kill off with flame wands, because the steam clouds really mess them up, and this is some really concerning area here. So there's this necrophage. Let's get into the Holy Wrath weapon. I'm already pretty beaten up, so careful here. Alright. It's a hungry ghost. They're particularly annoying as a Spriggan because you're already pretty short on food in general, but yeah, that's okay. So I still gotta get rid of these electric eel. The steam clouds, although, will make pretty short work of them. So yeah, let's continue here. There's another orc warrior. Let's blowgun him. He's wearing plate though. Yikes. That's one halberd swing. So there we go. Being frail like that is always something to be careful about. So let's have a look at the training. It's getting forward in a very good pace. There's a Trog altar, I didn't need that. Some slimes, and they will be guarding some food. I think it's royal jelly back there. Yeah, big bunch. Pretty useful here for me as a Spriggan. Because eventually it might be necessary. I might be needing to summon some food shop at least once, but maybe not. Oh, there's an enchanted longsword. So I'm gonna exchange this with the falchion. Rather take the longsword of Holy Wrath, even +2. Great. So there's a wizard hanging around here. Water makes them easier to hit and makes it more unlikely for them to hit you. It's always pretty useful to take that into account. And let's flame wand this. And the Hippogriff didn't even notice me. This guy drank a Berserk Potion there. Alright, still no Lair, but the Orcish Mines. Let's try that scroll. Perfect. Still no Lair, so... Oh, no, there it is. Good. So D10 is... you will find the Lair on D11 if you didn't find it before. But that's an Occult Plant guarding this place. Damn. That's really unfortunate, to be quite honest. So we're gonna be taking care of that later. So first off, I want to clear up this level before bothering with the Occult Plant. Maybe some solution will show up. But even if not, I will get stronger. That's at least something. So there's an ID scroll. That's a potion of resistance. Does resistance also provide arc road? Potion of resistance gives temporary. No, actually not. So there's a troll. I almost stepped into that and wanted to start swinging, but you won't. You don't do that with a troll. Don't do that with your first troll. Later on you can do that, but... Alright, so the poison doesn't work. But let's try the Scattershot wand. Wow. Smacked him. Scattershot is especially good against enemies with no high EV, because they can either dodge it or absorb it with AC. So against those big and meaty guys like ogres or trolls, which don't feature high EV or neither high AC, these wands are purely devastating. They're also pretty useful for Hydrate, because they're also not evasive and not particularly well armored, so they take a lot of damage from Scattershot wands. But against something like an Orc Warrior, they're honestly pretty useless, sadly. So I can step around this corner and start whacking this thing, but how I'm gonna do this? So I feel like I want to try the Wand of Flame, or just... Let's have a look-see here. This thing has some AC. So let's step into its face and pull the trigger here. Oh, that did a lot of damage. Let's take a few swings. There we go. So Scattershot saved the day. Awesome. Alright, so we're down to Lair with no R poison, which is actually bothering me a lot. But, well, you're not gonna find every time all you need immediately. So I'm gonna cut the episode here. Thanks for watching, thanks for joining, and I hope you're gonna tune in for episode 3. See ya, guys.